disappeared. Oh Lord, I got the wrong effect going on. Effect. It follows the hand. That's the one I need right there. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Y'all, I gotta talk about these subscribers too. Because we're gonna talk about why is self-respect, what is self-respect, and why it's important for couples. It's gonna be an amazing topic tonight. It is Wednesday. It is the second day of May. Man, we are out, not May, y'all. It is March. We're in the third month already. I think this is called Pisces time right now. So tonight is about men and women jumping inside the box, and you all are going to engage together. We show them how men and women come together and have an engaging educational thought process with laughter, smiles, and never looked at it like that type of conversation tonight. So thank y'all so much for joining the New Black Church, where your story is your Bible. And what that really means is you have lived such an amazing life that we want to know so much more about it so that we can learn about you. That falls under diversity and inclusion. The more diverse that our crowd is, that our village becomes, the more knowledge that we obtain. And guess what? This is by learning your book about you. So I appreciate everybody coming in. I thank y'all for the love. Yeah, if you got the numbers, go ahead and jump on up in this box, because relationship is a big topic right now. I don't know too many people that are at a point in their life right now to where they're good with being by themselves for a long time. There are short times. Like, I want to be by myself when, certain things are going on in my life. But then there are times when I want somebody sitting on the backside of my iPad, playing on their phone or doing Sudoku or doing whatever, smiling and grinning at me. I like that time. So I love it. I appreciate everybody coming in. Welcome. Now, if you got the numbers, I'm going to click on you and invite you up here to this conversation. I have 3 amazing questions tonight. Ooh, high body count usually indicate a lack of respect. That's an interesting perspective. That's one thing that we can potentially talk about. I don't know. For me, just me, a count lets me know that that individual is very experienced, and there's a high chance they might be something more that I don't know. So, but I appreciate that perspective. Oh my God, Latoya,
Good evening. Good evening.
how are you doing this evening? I appreciate you coming up here and sharing this conversation with me tonight.
I,
If you go ahead.
no, I appreciate it. I just literally just tuned in, so I really don't know much of what you're speaking on, and I have to find my glasses so I can read what your topic is. So if you save me the trouble, tell me what's going on.
Oh, I love it. I love it. My topic is, what is self-respect and why is it important to couples? So I do. I'm doing an 11-month series on self this year for this year.
Mhm.
After the 11 months, going into 2024, we can say we spent a whole year talking about ourselves and building ourselves. Okay. And so this month is about self-respect. On Monday, we do Men Monday, where there's nothing but men inside the box. We do Women Wednesday. Last night was amazing. There's nothing but women and myself. Okay, this is a highly, highly positive space
Mhm.
because a lot of people become very vulnerable here because they want to make a change in their life. And so what I was challenged with is, well, Duran, you're doing men on Monday, women on Wednesday. Do men and women in the box together, and let's show them how we can have positive conversations where men can learn about women and try to respect them even more. Women can learn more about men and respect them even more, and we can minimize this divide that we have going on.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so no one is wrong on this platform. Your perspective is comes from your life. At the most, I may know 30 minutes to a couple of hours about you. You probably know 18 years plus. I don't know. But you think, oh my God, Latoya, you probably 18 months in 2 days. I mean, 18 years in 2 days. So I'm going to give you 2 extra days.
Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So how does this work? You ask me a question, or I just answer what? what is self-respect to me.
What is self-respect to you? And then why is it? We're talking about couples tonight. So if you're in a
Hmm.
relationship, why it's important to you? And then when I say couples, it could be you and a family member. Because
Hmm.
y'all are, if it's two of y'all in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? That's mom and you, that's a couple. It's you and daddy, that's a couple. You and your brother, that's a couple. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
how is self-respect important in those conversations, in those relationships? Take it wherever you want to, as long as it's positive, because it always grows people.
Okay. Well, I got some stakes in this. I'm married, many
Okay,
moons,
there we go.
and I think with our self-respect is we have learned each other's boundaries.
I like that.
We have learned that if a person comes home and they're in a mood and they put that mood on me, it's not about me. It's something that he brought
Right.
home and he or she is unleashing in the home. And I have to be able to realize it ain't about me. So I don't have to throw up my gloves. It's something else. So how am I going to debrief him of what he's trying to put on me? So that's
Mm,
one thing that we've learned to do. Self-respect for me, for myself, what I require is what did I ask this man to do? Is just give me time. If I'm have we had a little fuss the other night. Let me just be real, and
okay.
I didn't like that he didn't support me in something. And so I was really hurt. So I went in the bedroom and I slept. The extra bedroom. And I did it again the other night. And he was like, yo, when you coming back in the bedroom? I said, oh, I'm coming in there tonight. He said, well, what's going on? I said, first I had to process you not supporting me and where I was going to put it so that when I get in the bed with you, I resolve my issues with you and you're not chasing me across the bed so we can cuddle. I had to get okay and deal with it by myself so that I could get back into this relationship. It doesn't mean that I forgive him, that I forgot. It just means that I've dealt with it so I don't destroy the 40 years that we have together.
That's beautiful. I love the way you did that.
Yeah. So I got into bed last night. He was happy. We funny. And then
Man
look,
is built
he
for
gave me.
companionship.
I knew he was feeling a little different. I don't want to hold you, but I asked him to hang my shower rod up before we had this little test, right? And so he didn't hang it for like 2 days. So the night I didn't get in the bed, he hung the shower curtain rod up, and he was like, "I hope they get me some brownie points."
That's exactly it. I mean, it's we know what to do. That's the
Yeah,
fun part. That's the fun part. It's finding the love in it. Like finding the love in the self-respect. And so I love the way that you know to take time out for you. That's self-respect. Nobody knows you better than you, right?
right.
Um, I'm a talker. We got to talk this thing through real quick before I go to sleep. Because if not, I'm going to be up all night, all kind of scenarios running through my head. And so I have to pull back on that and then realize, you know what, let's talk this through because 9 times out of 10, there is some miscommunication,
Yeah.
especially with me. I got ADHD, missing communication, I stutter, I'm dyslexic. I got all the makings to be real smart. I got them all.
Mm.
And so with me having all of that, I can miss something real quick and real simple. And real simple. I can miss it real quick. So I love that share. Hang out with us tonight because you're new to the village. What we have is a village of about 40 plus states of people that come in. And TikTok has put us in a position to where our village is beyond our neighborhood and our zip code.
Hmm.
Actually, our village is in the US and we got a couple of people that come in from Canada and I had a lady come in from the Philippines last night. And so, yeah, the village is super duper big. Uh, no waste of time. How you doing this evening? If you able, go ahead and jump on up here because you know you got some powerful words. Oh, these Florida allergies be on me.
So you actually have a podcast. This
I
is
have.
just not. Go
Hmm.
ahead.
Yes, I have a podcast. Actually, the first one is on Sunday.
Oh, okay, I'm talking to a professional.
I don't. It's. Yes. 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 Thank you.
Just claim it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank
don't
you.
don't. You worked for it.
I have to give credit what credit is due. The podcast actually comes from my followers on TikTok.
Whoa.
My birthday is on Christmas Day, and they threw me a party last year. My first ever birthday party on the actual day.
Mm.
And on that day, about 2,000 people came through, and majority of them kept saying they enjoyed the way that I look at life and the way that I view different scenarios, and they kept saying you need a bigger platform. I I attempt in my own personal life to begin to see the things that other people see in me, so that I can make them even bigger. So from December, I'm gonna say I was done with it in February. I was done. I turned my living room into a full studio. And
Mm.
so we go live. I got cameras. I have 4 cameras, lights in the ceiling, a director, a producer. Yeah, I have a full set in my living room that we're going to be going live on YouTube and Facebook on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock for the first time. I'm following.
Impressive.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's a great resume. You know, that's a great look. Being that I don't have my glasses, I'm just going to have to screen press it so I can follow you. What is called screenshot, screen record,
Yeah, screenshot. Let me
so
tell
I can follow you later on.
you, you make me feel so good because if I didn't have my glasses on, I'll be sweating and doing everything else. And the people who fuss at me are not here. No wasted time. Thank you so much for jumping up here. Bama, I heard you in the truck, so I know you there.
Oh yeah, I'm here, driver. You know I'm here.
Bama is my red-headed brother. Somehow, he's my twin from Alabama. I'm from Dallas. I don't know how the DNA got split between 2 states, but we was born together. That is my brother from the.
Genetics is wild.
He is so cool. No wasted time. How you doing this evening?
Good evening. I just came up to say hello. I am not a couple. I am a single person. So if it's couples related, I may not be able to, may not want to take up space to speak to that, but I work with couples in a professional capacity with my trauma resolution and transformational coaching to really work through not only couples but families in crisis and looking for tools to healing and how we, kind of get out of some of the situations we get ourselves into. So, good evening. What part of Bama? Bama? I spent some time in Bama.
I am from a little town called Roanoke, Alabama. It's between Opelika and Oxford, Alabama.
I know where that is. I got folks in Towel Creek, Alabama, and
I
around
heard
that
you, I
northern
did.
Alabama. Yeah, around that area.
That's awesome. You're a coach. I actually am looking into getting certified this summer.
Find a good program.
Oh,
I did my
oh, go ahead.
Well, I did my certification when I was in a master's program as an alternative to the counseling field, partly because my work in how we fix community kind of led me down a path that says if we've got a 100% trauma rate, which I believe we do in society, then we've got to have new solutions that really can reach to the most. And if we've got a 100% trauma rate, then we've got to have solutions that help us get to people on the ground. Not everyone will be able to get in to a counselor's office or a therapist's office, and some of the other models of healing really called out to me. And just healing is the core of so many of the issues we've got. Like it all comes back to the people. Well, why did this happen? Because people, we got issues. And so I'm really passionate about it. And kind of this is my retirement career. I retired from the farming industry, but like this is what my passion is. I retired so that I can devote more of my time to really healing, and helping people have tools to be able to heal. So it's something I'm passionate about. Like every opportunity to talk about healing, like I take.
Okay, that's awesome. Now you know my stuff be loaded. Uh, I shared this with Oh My God Latoya because she's new, and so I went ahead and prepped her. She's married, but why is it important to couples? Couples is two people having a conversation.
Okay,
Couple
absolutely.
is
I can buy
bigger
that.
than two people in love. You got to remember, whenever we engage with somebody, are we going to have self-respect for ourselves? And
That
so,
is my lane. Absolutely.
I'm getting better at not setting y'all up so much. I got fussed at a couple times. Duran, give us more information. You know all this stuff, but we don't know it yet, and we feel kind of bad. Okay, well, share that with me, and I'll begin to do that. I need to know. I need, because I'm growing also. So, couples, it's one of the things I challenge people to do is think beyond what somebody else has already told you, and then realize it's bigger than what they told us. Couples can be anything you want it to be, because whenever we engaging with someone, if two people talk, that's a couple. Or you're going to have self-respect for yourself in that conversation, or you're going to give in, and you know what I'm saying, and let somebody talk to you any kind of way, which causes a reaction from you that takes you outside of your amazing character. Okay, so that's why I'm asking, why is it important for couples to have self-respect?
I'll jump in if nobody's jumping in.
Well, Oh My God did hers first. She gave an amazing, beautiful, real example that happened this week with her husband.
I
So
appreciate
proud
that,
of
but just
both
call
of you.
me Toya. Toya's
Toya,
good. Uh-huh.
but I like Oh My God. That's like,
All right. This your show. I'm micing out.
so I'm super country. I'm goofy. I live in the field of rainbows and unicorns. The question is, does everybody know that they're that beautiful as a rainbow and they're unicorn? So I know I am. I'm just hanging around a whole bunch of them. I want everybody to know that they're a unicorn. And with your gang, your name being Oh My God, Latoya, I loved it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God, that just put a big old. Do you see how big I smile when I say your name? It is so exciting. I love it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. What's her name? I love her TikTok name because it's her .com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's dope. That's great thinking.
So when she answered the question, she always has this platform to talk about what she does with that full name. And I never have a problem with that. Just hint, letting her know that she can always share it because she is a blessing to the community and the village.
Sounds
Oh,
like
thank you. No, my name's Lorana. That's the name I go by um in real life. And yes, No Wasted Time does have a meaning, and it of course is tied to healing. I'm like a broken record, but like I realized that like I got to that point in life where life had to have a purpose to me. Like I wasn't gonna get up and wake up to the nonsense of life, and life didn't have a purpose. But when I realized that life did have a purpose, I realized that my dysfunction kept me from being able to live that fully. And healing became the path for me really aligning with the capacity to live out my purpose. And when I began the healing journey, I realized that all of the experience in life that have created the person that I am today, that I love, that I embrace fully, the good and the bad, the parts of me that I'm still working on, and the parts of me that I think are just wonderful, that all of that had some use. And that because I was on that path to healing and on that path to purpose, that none of it was wasted. That gave my life, every bit of it, the positive and the negative meaning. And that really, even the things that I've had to grow through are things that have benefited me. But like every ounce of energy that I've spent, that I can get a greater return when that benefits somebody else also. And so it's the recognition that when we align with our purpose and with healing the things that keep us from living that, then none of our life is wasted, that every bit of it can be used to live out that purpose that we have in our own life, and so that nothing's wasted. And so if our goal is for nothing to be wasted in our life, not 1 ounce of energy, then it's to align with healing, align with your purpose, put those things together and really live out your potential, the greatest potential that we have. To that point, though, about the question about connections, like I believe that every single interaction that we have is an opportunity. And that there's really in my life, and this is farm wisdom, is we have the opportunity to plant good seeds or plant weeds. Like every interaction with every single person, I can, infuse something that's positive. And sometimes it's like passing someone and smiling at them, or passing and having a comment, or one little, I learned this new thing from a lady a couple of weeks ago, micro moments where our paths cross. There's a point of connection in our life. The four of us are having a point of connection right now, that this particular life brought us
Uh-oh.
together for just a short period of time, but we have the opportunity to choose whether we're going to plant good seeds, or pour some healing water on an interaction or not. And so we have control of not just our life, but the way we choose to impact others that come in contact with our lives in the world. And I think that's something for
You
me,
know,
I'm going to take that more seriously, like literally.
there's the saying, it's better to be the one who smiles than the one that doesn't, or the one who speaks first and the one that doesn't. You know, I I was out shopping with my husband the other day, and we went to the Black Wall Street in Stone Mountain, and everyone was all dressed up, and I wasn't. And the woman was just so beautiful, and I was like, "Oh, you look so pretty, girl! You put that outfit together." And my husband's like, "Why you just always talking to women? You like women?" I said, "No, I love women, but not in that manner. But when you see something beautiful, you have to speak to it. You have to, if you see a beautiful flower, you look at it longer.
Mhm.
And what taught me that was a good friend of mine named Frankie. I said, "Oh, Frankie," when I first met, I said, "You're so beautiful." She said, "No, baby, I'm just a reflection of you." And that took me out. I said, I will always use that. If I see something beautiful, I want to speak on it. I'm just segueing off of what you're saying, ma'am.
I see you in the chat. Hold on.
That is good.
Y'all,
I think
y'all say
that's
hi to my
like,
baby girl.
Hi.
hey, baby.
That's 4K Love One. That's her. That's in the chat.
Oh,
Okay,
sweet.
I go back to my live, baby. Why you up for being funny? Thank you. I love you.
Toya, that's it right there, because that right there was either, if she didn't know that she was beautiful, that was a good seed planted, because that's the truth of it. And if she already knew, then you were putting the healing water that says, don't forget, and I see you. And like we have that choice, that didn't cost you anything but a few ounces of oxygen.
That's it.
Hmm.
That's all it cost.
Um.
But that may have meant everything to her on that day, because you don't know where people are in that moment. That might have meant everything to her.
Oh yeah. So she today. I mean, she does it every day, but today she called me a few minutes ago, and she was like, "Daddy, the tornado's on its way. Me and mommy in the closet." And I'm like, "Well, okay, well, baby, save your battery. Daddy's right here. Thank you for calling Daddy. And then as soon as it's over, let Daddy know." So she went into my other live to let me know there, and I told her come over here, and then she came over here and told me. And then after that, she called me just to hear, make sure she hear Daddy's voice, and then she can tell me I like. She knows I'm going to jump when she does certain things. Um, there's two things that I've learned. One of them is from church, and what Pastor used to always say in his prayer before he got ready to preach: "Don't let anyone walk out of here the same way they walked in."
Mm.
I say that in my personal life. Don't let anyone walk away from me the same way they walked to me. That's number one. Number two, something that I've learned about, I start doing it for others first, and I do it for myself. And that is, anyone that comes in my path is a blessing, because you could have been anywhere else. Like, I tease people that I meet and begin to talk with them. Like, okay, take for example, oh my God, Latoya, she's married. She could be with her husband right now on the phone, texting him or doing something. She chose to be here. I'm going to respect your time. I'm going to keep your attention. I'm going to listen so that I can learn from you and see if there's anything that I could challenge her at being a better person, because she's already amazing. I do the same thing with Bama. No, anyone that comes in my path, I respect them because they took time out of their day to engage with me to grow me. Those are two basic things to someone else, huge, beautiful things to me that I incorporate. And X Faith 99, that's Bama's wife. So that's why they flirting with each other by eating dinner.
Oh,
You
that's
gotta
so
keep
sweet.
doing that.
I
Help
have a
yourself.
similar kind of value system to that.
Hey,
And
you
part
ain't
of
gotta tell me to
that
keep doing it. I keep them fires burning, baby. Hey, I know how to marinate my steaks, okay?
I
Look,
love
There
my
you
uh-oh, they
go.
stuff.
marinating.
look, y'all. I'm writing for y'all that don't know. I'm writing a book, and the thing is, and I explain. This is the way I explain things. This is the way I explained it to a couple people that are my friends that are in marriages, and it's not really physical intimacy. And I always tell them, and I told them this. I said, "Hey, you just don't take a steak out the freezer and throw it on the grill, do you?" He said, "No." I said, "No. You take time with it. You thaw it out, you season it, you marinate that bad boy. You let it soak in them seasonings.
Yep.
Then you put that bad boy on the grill.
Yep.
You gotta let your woman know it. You know, you look. A woman is an emotional creature. There's stages and there's steps. You gotta, her body mentally has got to be there. At first, it's easy because you got so much dopamine going through, But to keep them fires burning, that woman needs to know she's wanted and she's appreciated and that she's beautiful.
Yep.
But that's all I got to say about that. I'll keep my fires burning.
You keep that fire burning.
Keep Leo the King. Come on up here and join us, bro. And drop some of that amazing knowledge that you have.
I was going to say, similar to what you were saying, I have a similar kind of belief system. And part of my logic says, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but this is what I choose to believe, that people don't cross my path accidentally.
Correct.
But you talked about self-respect, and I think the way that I balance that out is that, in every interaction, I try to remind myself, what's the loving thing that you can do in this interaction. But part of that has to start with what's the most loving thing you can do for yourself. And then what's the most loving thing you can do in your interaction? And in some interactions, even some close interactions like kinfolk, I've had to say, in order to be the loving person that I choose to be, I got to disconnect from you because interacting with you may trigger a part of me that has not yet had some healing work, and it might make me act in a way that's not my true loving self. And so sometimes the most loving thing I can do is to put that separation and put boundaries up, because boundaries are the things that we put in place for people that don't share our values. And that's to be able to love us and love them to the best of our ability. So that for me is how I balance the self-respect in the interactions that I have with people. I assume that they're in my path on purpose, and that my job is to figure out why. Why did you cross my path and swirl into the vortex of my life? But then the other piece is about setting those boundaries and making sure that I remind myself to check myself and make sure that my behavior aligns with the values that I've set for my life.
I totally agree. Anointedly made
Herbal concoctions.
herbal concoction. Because I'm like, is she trying to say herbal bacon? Or
My name was too long. I put a character limit to me.
they sure did. Before you go, real quick, I want to add something to what Lorana. I said right.
Remember, yes.
Yes, Lorana. Okay. To what Lorana said. I actually learned this week, and I picked up on it. The way I feel about myself, I deflect it in my conversations. When I'm extremely happy with Duran and I'm in love with Duran and I appreciate Duran, I reflect that in my conversation. I deflect that on other people. When I'm not happy with Duran and I'm irritated with him or something's not right about Duran, I deflect that out on other people. So I'm learning that I honestly have to respect myself so much first that I can continually respect other people for where they are. And I was like, wow, because I noticed when I get an attitude with somebody, I kind of have an attitude with myself. And so I have to pull back from that. Okay. Anointingly made herbal concoction. I got, oh my God, and I got concoctions. If I don't feel like I'm in Oak Cliff, Texas right now.
You guys, oh my goodness, you are hitting exactly what I am going through right now on the head. And it just happened just yesterday. You know, I get passionate about certain subjects. I love everyone. You know, I don't have a problem with that, but certain subjects really dearly come to my heart. And I had an interaction with someone and it got a little heated. And I'm like, you know what? That's not me. But the subject matter at hand kind of needed that fire a little bit. We didn't curse. It didn't get into an argument or anything. It just got a little, you know, just a little tinge of heat in there. And yeah, it was very interesting because I have been on a path of peace, not only with myself, but with all my interactions with others. And to have that peace a little disturbed me a little bit. But I realize everybody's in your life for a reason. Every action is for a reason and for a purpose. And it's all to make you a better person. And so with that, I realized that, you know, it's okay to have passion about certain subjects, and it's okay, you know, to have that little heat. And it's okay to shut it down before it gets, you know, too hot. And I forgave myself.
There you go. There you go.
But you know, I had to really check myself and realize that even in my quest for that peace and that love and that continued, I won't say zen, but just that continued flow of happiness and joy with everyone, no matter what, there are going to come times where you have a little disturbance, and it's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I totally agree. Mr. Vanta, I've been trying to say hi to you in chat, but this new update won't let me do it. So I'm gonna say hi right here, just so you can see it. Anointingly made by herbal concoctions. Let me tell you, what you said is so true. And we are who we attract. And what my space has been attracting is individuals who want a change. And I would say it this way, it's not the exact same way using these words, but the similarity is they're tired of the story that everybody else told them to live and want to go live their own life. And they know that, okay, I'm extremely happy, I'm extremely nice, but I'm acting outside of my character. I know it's not me, but I want to act this way. How do I do it? And then are there other peoples out here who do it also, so I'm not by myself? That's typically what I've been attracting to the platform, because that was me also. I'm like, I know I'm not the only person who live with rainbows and unicorns. Like, there are some more out here that do that. That's tired of out here fighting in these fields of cotton where the ground is dirty and it ain't growing. Yeah, we don't do that no more. That is done and over with. That's somebody else's story. Our stories got grass fields that are real. And like I say, I live in a field with unicorns. The question is, everybody here, do they know they're a unicorn? I know I am.
I am.
And then we got full of rainbows around us. Like, how can you be upset with life when you have that? You know what I'm saying? And all these individual lessons that we have taken and brought into our lives that had made us individually beautiful.
Right.
And so, yeah, you nailed it on the head. And a little disruption, don't mind. I had somebody, so my podcast is called The New Black Church. Your story is your Bible. I'm making videos now. I have some more equipment coming in so I can make the video. So my degree is in journalism 30 years ago. I'm from Texas. My mama beat me into do it right the first time or don't do it at all. So I'm having to make sure when I do stuff is correct the first time, because even though she's not here, that woman still kind of make me look over my shoulder to make sure I have to get that back in. So but I'm going to answer those questions. But somebody ripped me in half because they were passionate about well, if it ain't this, it ain't this, and it ain't that. But when I listened to them, I said, those are questions that I can answer.
Yeah.
They're not the only one. Now, I could have took that a totally different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like I say, I live with unicorns and rainbows. I'm gonna listen and see what I can learn from it to grow.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
And it's a
Tavonda,
choice.
yes.
It's a choice you have to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
if you
totally
don't
agree.
make it, the choice will be made for you.
Facts. I love it. I love it. Yep. I love it. Come on. Come on, Tavonda. We waiting on you, girl, with that all that gray, pretty hair in your head, them glasses on. Go with that good old smile, girl. That's a looker.
Stop
What's
it.
up for you?
You know, I was looking at your question to start that off. So, what is self-respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it blends over to the unicorns and the rainbows as well. So, self-respect number one is loving yourself,
L-I-
understanding yourself, know how you're planted, know your mindset, being secure in that mindset, being secure in your appearance of what you deem yourself to be, how you speak, how you approach others. And when you start feeling this strength, because if your self-respect is grounded, people are going to notice that radiance, first of all. They're going to notice the fact that you have command of who you are. And then when you have that foundation, you can share now. I can listen. I can hear. I can hold conversation without having to wait just to talk, but I can listen to understand because I really want to find the respect within me, wants to really discover what's going on with my partner, what's going on in my surroundings, right? And
Right.
then when the young lady was talking about, and the both of you were talking about the unicorns, I've walked this earth for a long time. And there's blessings in that alone. And therefore, and even my pledge to myself this year was gratitude. I'm going to make sure I have gratitude and that I remember gratitude. I lost my sister 4 weeks ago now.
Mm.
Lost my mother last year. But my gratitude is their existence and their footprint that they left on this earth was amazing.
I love that.
So there's lessons that I can learn from it that I carry them into my presence now. And therefore I keep them with me. I keep them attached. So their essence is surrounding me all the time. So gratitude is my thing. I'm not going to worry about what I don't have, what I don't look like, the fact that I'm aging, the fact that, the things that I might have had 5 or 6 years ago that was escaped from me now um I don't have or whatever. I'm not going to spend that energy in that. I'm going to be grateful for the fact that I have a beautiful space, that I have a place that I can lay my head at every night, that I can get out and drive around that corner, that I can get on my 2 feet and walk to where I need to go. Um, these things I'm going to be grateful for. I may not have a person in my life, my person, but I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? I can achieve love and I got to continue to grow to
Wait.
love myself and understanding that whenever my creator says, hey, it's time, we'll bring you on in, or that my other half may not be existing. He may be deceased. So I have to live my life today as I'm grounded today. So when you start looking for the things to be happy about, the negativity can kind of dissipate in its own right. I don't know if that makes sense,
Oh yeah,
but you just don't fall into it any longer.
all of it makes sense. The only question I have is because you said something, and I'm curious by the way you said it because you said it differently the second time.
Hmm.
Gosh, I just forgot what it was. Hold on. Got to think. Got to close my eyes. Why got to close our eyes to remember something? I have no idea. Like I close my eyes and find direction. Oh, that's what it is. You said you don't have that person, but then you came back and said you have to find that other person. Are you sure you don't have the
No,
person?
no, I said I don't have the person. That's one of those things that I can wallow in. I was using it as an example. I can wallow to say, oh my God, I'm
Well,
single, life
hold
is
on. Oh,
horrible, blah, blah, blah.
not
But it's not.
Not that part. Do you not
Okay.
have your person, or do you not have that other person?
Okay.
Because
I do
you're a
not
person.
have that other person. My person is intact, and that falls up
Thank
under the
you.
level of self-respect.
I'm super big on words, and we can
Okay.
convince ourselves with words. And sometimes we can say, "I don't
I
have
have,
that person," and say that's us.
I,
Okay. And I
I
maybe
have
you
to go.
misheard me because I said I don't have my person yet. Is what I was saying. But even though I don't have that, that doesn't stop my life. It's still very grounded. I'm still watering my soil. I'm still fertilizing myself. And even in the age that in now, I'm still growing and learning. And I'm snatching bits and pieces from the younger generation and be like, oh, yeah, I remember when I did that. Now I can smile
Mhm.
and like, okay, look where I am now. You can get there too.
Okay. Are you one of your persons?
Okay, what do you mean? Explain to me that a little bit more detail.
What I'm saying is, okay, so as I'm listening to you and you're
Hmm.
saying my person, the emphasis with my person, if I'm understanding this, if I'm receiving this correct, not understanding, if I'm receiving this correctly, you're talking
Okay,
about that person you can spend time with, right?
that other party, yes.
That other. One of the
Sorry.
things that what's what I'm looking for? What's what I'm looking for? I'm what's that thing that we do so much that we become obsessed with it? Like somebody who clean a whole lot. What do we call
Oh,
them?
OCD.
Yes, I am OCD about self. I am OCD
Hmm.
about self. So
Hmm.
when I hear someone use a self word externally, I typically
Hmm.
ask the question internally
Okay.
because listening to what you just said, you have
Hmm.
one of your persons. My person, that's you.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then there is another one to the outside of you. And so
Possibly. So
possibly, right?
my person walks in my foundation of today, not again wallowing about the future or hoping
Correct.
that the future
So
comes. I'm living in my walk and my journey today, and whatever is added to that journey as time pass will be my blessing.
okay, I like that one better. I this is just me. This is just me. It's not a good or bad thing, it's just me.
Hmm.
I believe the more we praise ourselves and the more we give shout out to ourselves, the closer we get to the things that we want because
Hmm.
we love ourselves even more than what we're doing right now. So that's the reason why I was asking you that
Right,
way.
and thus
Cousin
that
Myra, thank you
that
so much.
becomes the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was telling cousin Myra, thank you for that. But go ahead.
Oh, thus the reasoning of gratitude being my
Mm-hmm.
insight
Okay.
of my year. My focus is always going to be on gratitude rather than wallowing in what I don't have, allowing myself to celebrate what I do have, who
Mm-hmm.
I am, what my strengths are, what I have that's going for me, my insight and my intuitive nature. All of these I'm going to celebrate, not what I'm missing, not what I'm lacking. And if you celebrate what's good, you do nothing, you want nothing more than to continue to polish what
Mm-hmm.
it is. So you're taking those things that you can wallow in or you can brighten them up and say, well, you know what? I want to learn how to do such and such. I'm gonna add a class under my belt. You know what? I want to exercise, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna add just walking 10 extra steps. So when you realize who you are beautifully, you'll want to protect that beautiful portion of who you are, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so the cool thing is what you're doing line up with what I'm doing this year. Am I doing the most popular thing? Yep, sure is. Um, we're talking about self for 11 months. I have 11 different topics about self this year so that in December, everyone that has the goal is I started out with 100, but I'm getting ready to start another website and push this campaign. I want 10,000 men to go with the same topic at the same time on Monday night. That's positive. 10,000 women to go on Wednesday night at the same time. That's positive. And then men and women come together on Thursday and do the same thing. I believe if we do that, we change the algorithm of this app. And we're going to change the dynamics, because with 10,000 and 100 people in each one of them, we just hit 1 million lives. And so it's so doable with the right pushing behind it. And this year, I'm getting ready to put I'm working at it as a storyteller. I'm working on self-esteem was January, self-love was February, self-respect is this month. If we go through and write down how we feel about ourselves in each one of the lessons each week, okay, up until the end of the year, we have 11 chapters in our book, that's our Bible, about ourselves and how we feel.
It's
That can change
so
somebody else's
funny
life.
that I'm sorry. It's so funny that you say that because I'm a journaler. I journal.
Good.
And somebody expressed to me, and I never thought about it this way, because sometimes you might rant and rage in those words, right? And they say when you do that, you have made the negative permanent. So therefore, if you're going to journal good thoughts. If you
Mm-hmm.
have the negative thoughts, the words that you write down is, how do I raise myself above this? And that was something that stuck so deeply in deep into my soul, that it was like, okay, anything that I write is my permanence. And if it's going to be permanent, it needs to be palatable. It needs to be upward. It needs to be in a mobile area, and it needs to be celebratory.
I totally agree. Another thing to add to that, then Bama, I have not forgotten about you. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna change to the next question. Is Christian background. I come from, Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior. I listen to things that they tell us, and I make them relevant to today. One of them is, to be saved, got to go through Romans 10:9, which is confess with your mouth, believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, you're saved. This is how I took that and said it a different way. Confess with your mouth and believe in your heart the words that you use, that becomes your reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's when we begin to say them out loud, that's when we make them even more real. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever we write down and say it's going to probably become real.
Mm-hmm.
I said, ooh, I'm writing down a whole bunch of positive stuff. I'm going to stop saying some of this other stuff so
Right.
that I can begin to transition myself into a new point in my life that is more fun.
Right.
So I did that. Bama, you go ahead and answer the question, and I'm finna get prepared for the next. I do 3 questions a night, right? I do 3 questions. All 3 of them tie in together, and typically my questions are loaded, right? Because I challenge people to slow down and process it with your thoughts, not the thoughts that somebody else taught you to think, if that makes sense. Because sometimes people convince us think one way, kind of like, nah, that don't make sense to me. I want to say this. Say what you think you want to say. That is more than likely what is going to bless us the most. And so that's why I love that part. Now, Bama, go ahead and let me get to this next question, okay? Go ahead, Bama.
What's the question? I can't read it. I'm driving.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to the question. Now, yeah. Why is self-respect important to couples?
All right. Why is self-respect important for couples?
Yes.
You know how I gotta go. All right. Y'all sit down. A person has to have self-respect in the beginning so they can love themselves, number one.
Correct. Okay.
And have, all right?
All right.
With having self-respect for yourself, you have boundaries. You know what you're not going to do. You know what you're not going to put up with. All right? There's a line through in the sand. But in a relationship like me and my wife, since I am her husband, I was raised in church too, so I have to I believe I have to love her as God loved the church. And he laid his life down for the church. So I'm going to treat her like a precious jewel and respect her feelings when she feels a certain way, and I can't help it. I'm going to respect each other's voice. We're going to respect both of our voices, what we have to say, but we're going to be willing and wanting to listen, because communication is more than just talking. You got to be able to listen, comprehend, and understand the information you're getting. So
Okay.
So there you go. Merry
I
Christmas.
like that. I like that. So now that we know that self-respect is important when we're engaging in a conversation with someone, the next question is it healthy and or unhealthy to sacrifice your self-respect?
Unhealthy is traumatizing.
Okay. Okay. Elaborate some more, pretty please.
You know, part of like understanding what damages us is when we go against the values that we hold to be true. When we conflict with those values, we're creating trauma. And when I pretend like my needs are not important where my insides are saying they are, then I'm creating trauma in my own life. And so having an honest sense of identity and worth, recognizing my worth and my value, isn't about tooting my own horn. It's about being honest and saying, this is who I am, with no shame and no guilt and no fear and no insecurities, or at least to the best of our ability. When I go against that truth, I am causing trauma in my own existence. And so, if my job is to first take care of me well, because I am the person that I am firstly responsible for, I'm responsible for making sure that Lorana is okay and well and as healed as she possibly can be. If I am doing things to myself that is causing me to not be okay, to traumatize myself, then I am letting myself down and I'm neglecting that first responsibility. And so if I'm not taking care of that, if I'm not being honest with what my needs are and setting those healthy boundaries in love, because I need to be able to love me and love you at the same time. But there's one of us that I'm responsible for taking care of, and that's me. And so if I have to put a
Exactly.
boundary that says I can't give of something that would then make me do damage to myself, and I'm able to do that in love, you're responsible with how you feel about that. Maybe I didn't do those things that you wanted me to do, but if I can't love me and then have something left to be able to give to you, then you got to deal with that side of the equation.
Totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Faith, are you through eating? So you can come up here, and then we have Bama and Faith up here together. Okay.
We WWE style.
Faith says if someone loved you and respects you, they wouldn't ask you to go against your boundaries. In an ideal world where we're all perfect, I think that's true. But I think when we interact, and we're talking about interactions with each others, with couple dynamics, the people that we cross paths with, I think we operate to the ability that our healing allows us to be. My mother loved me. She loved me. But my mother's behavior was she was living her life through her pain and her damage. And so the ways that she interacted with me oftentimes had been poisoned by her damage. Didn't mean she didn't love me. It means she loved me to the best of her ability. I believe when we see people operating, they're doing their best. They truly are. But if you don't, if those areas of your life and you're interacting through them with others are damaged, then the ego needs usually win out just like addiction does for other people who have substances that they rely on. We comfort those fears and those insecurities, and the behaviors that we use to do that oftentimes are not loving interactions with other people. So I think we're doing the best we can, but I think even people that love us, their capacity to act in ways that are loving is a product of their healing. Sometimes people are doing their best, and the love that they have is tainted by the issues that they need to protect, or they feel we need to protect, because that's what we're doing. We really don't need to protect anything, but we are soothing our fears and our guilt and our insecurities. That ego stuff wins out.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said. One of the things that I try to do, and I don't do I do it every time? No. I try to keep it at the forefront of my mind. I ask others, what do you do when you reach the ceiling in something? Do you continually bump your head on it, or what are your next steps? And then when they say, well, when I reach the ceiling, I break through it, whatever that they may say, my next question is, in this scenario, from your perspective, where are you? Have you reached the ceiling, or are you at another space? And then whatever that they may say, if they say they're at another space or they're beyond the ceiling, my favorite question is, what are your thoughts on going to the next level? And then,
Can you clarify what you mean by ceiling?
Ceiling is kind of like I hit the glass ceiling in corporate America in IT. I made it to a CIO. There is no other position I can get in IT. CISO reports to the CIO. Everybody else report to the CIO except the CEO, but I'm an IT person. So I hit that ceiling. In my life, I hit the ceiling on where I could see Duran, right? But then I start realizing the things that other people saw Duran, and I realized there's a higher ceiling for me that I gave myself. Am I open to going to a higher ceiling? If I am, since I am, okay, what am I going to do about it? Right? This week, my numbers have been the lowest, way lower than my first week doing these, right? Okay. Could I give up and say that's my ceiling? Yes. But I do know that there is a starting point, and then there is a growth that takes off from there, right? As long as one person show up, I'm happy. More show up, I'm even happier, right? I transition to something totally different. So I may set the ceiling at a certain level for myself. Like, okay, take for example, my oldest daughter, Mom. Okay, when she had our oldest baby, she had her master's. She had all the qualifications, but didn't want to apply for a position because she was 3 months pregnant. When she go through her interviews, she was like, they're not going to hire me. They ain't going to do this. They ain't going to do that because I'm getting ready to have a baby. And my thing was, if you talk yourself out of it, it probably ain't going to happen. Human beings see us as human beings. She only saw herself so far. Now, that was 15 years ago, right? Lo and behold, she got hired and went straight on maternity leave, literally. She got hired in December, had the baby in January. Got hired in December, went straight on leave in February, right? That was 15 years ago working for the government. And so we can see ourselves as only going so high. I only saw myself on TikTok. I look at this room that's directly in my peripheral vision, and I'm in awe every single day that, one, I was able to put it together. Two, the finance was there to put it together. And then three, I get a chance to live out my dream in journalism because that's what my degree in. I gave up on that ceiling. Does that help you any?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the imagery that for me, I understand better. And I think the imagery I use in my life to explain that thing to myself when I'm having the conversations with myself is the mountain and the plateau. That,
okay.
Healing for me is layers. I do some work, I do some work, I do some work. And it's hard because you're going up the steep side of the mountain. And then you get to kind of a plateau. You take those cumulative exams for that chapter, and you kind of get to a plateau because, like Bama says, sometimes it need to marinate. That healing that you've done has to really work its way into your life where you've let go of those needs to have those responsive behaviors, and you start sinking into that new, better self, the more healed version, your 2.0 or whichever chapter you're on. And then something will happen. And you'll be going along real good. That's feeling real good and real comfortable to you. And then something triggers another unhealed spot. And you say, okay, here we go. We're getting back on this mountain. And then you do more. But each time, for me in my life, each time what I'm doing is I'm shedding some of those outer layers and one, getting to better know who I really am. And then I'm taking that healing and then learning how to live from that new place of freedom in my life. I'm freer now to be my more authentic self. And so for me, it's like this mountain, and you get to these plateaus where you catch your breath, you do a little bit of rest. It's kind of like working out. You do that hard, but now you got to rest, you got to hydrate, you got to let that kind of sink in before you go to that next level. And I'm grateful that kind of God and the whole universe kind of works where it's not all at one time. It's this slow kind of growth process, even though it feels intense at times when you're going through that next upward move, that upward mountain. It's like, ooh, I thought I was free, but ooh, girl, you got some more dysfunctions that's hindering your freedom, that you're not as authentic as you thought you were. Let's work on this next layer of damage, because when you do that, you're going to get even more freedom in your life. And part of that freedom for me looks like, can I live exactly who that true person is that I say I am in public with the lights on or the lights off? Can I be that authentic person in real life, in real time?
I love that, and this is why I love this space so much, because he said I have to invite Faith. Cleotis Jenkins, you done came back over here 5-6 times. Bro, come on up here with us. Come on, Cleotis. Cletus. It's Cletus Jenkins. My bad, not Cleotis. Maybe that's why you won't come up. Cletus, come on up here. Let me give Cletus another chance. But what I was saying was, I love the way you said that, because it helps me, because it gives me another way of seeing it also. And that's why I love this space. So many, we can use words so differently, and they're beautiful every time somebody do it. And so I appreciate that. Anointedly made herbal concoctions. What are your thoughts? And then we're going to come to you, because Miss Tavanta is over there eating, y'all. She cooking. I smell that you over there putting together.
I'm
So
still here, though. I'm still here. Just let me know when you need me.
I know. Cletus is so funny, y'all. Cletus would come in. I'm sorry, come on.
So I am on the spiritual growth of not only learning myself, but also as an individual as I grow older. And one thing that I've decided to do that has helped me out, especially as I interact with others and, just deal with the idiocracies of others' opinions, and sometimes even how they react to me when there's a difference of opinion. I've been trying to deal more of myself and let my base be righteousness. And that has helped me maintain a lot of joy in my life and forgive myself, when things just, are just a little off sometimes. Because we're not in a perfect world. We're not going to be perfect. But what we can do is do the best that we can where we're at whatever particular moment we are in our life. Situations occur, that can sometimes trip us up, and we have to give space for that. We can't expect that we're going to be totally healed of anything, actually. I've had traumas, even traumas from my ancestors, as I learned of the traumas that they went through, you know, it has taught me just to love first and just to accept people for who they are, where they are, and not try to think anything more than that.
Okay.
And that has allowed me to be authentic at the moment and know that, you know, maybe my authenticity will change a little later as I grow a little more, as I learn a little more. Because even relationships with people, they change over time as you grow together.
I totally agree with that. If you were to break that down into smaller bites, what I mean, if you were to break it down into moments, would it be possible for you to get more wins?
Sorry, could you elaborate just a little more?
Like, so I was listening to what you were saying, and then I had heard you say that it's I can't remember exactly how you said it, and that is totally my fault. You're going to have something throughout the day, right? If there's something that you said
Yeah.
that you're going to have, right? My question is,
Yeah.
if you were to take that in smaller bites, is it possible not to have that in your day because you praise each little bite or I live moment to moment. I do
Yeah.
something, I praise it. I do something, I praise it. I do something, I praise it. That way, I don't give anything else an opportunity to come in my day.
Yeah. So essentially what I do is I accept people for who they are and I accept me for who I am. So if I was to deal, like, take the situation I was speaking about yesterday, you know, there was a matter of difference of opinion of how to handle a certain situation, where the other person didn't have the experience or the complete knowledge. So they, in my opinion, wouldn't be able to give a complete solution because you kind of have to have experience in this particular thing in order to fully understand or understand what was needed to resolve the situation.
Okay.
And so in that situation, for me, it's taking them for where they're at, accepting their opinion and where they are in their level of knowledge of the particular matter, and not expecting them to know everything. Now, where the difference came and where the little fire came was them making assumptions and not fully accepting what I was saying. And so when that happens, I have two choices. You know, I can move in love, which is what I chose to do, but because it was still like, how dare you speak for me when you don't fully, you can't walk in my shoe because we're different people. We have different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we have the same level of knowledge, our experiences is going to separate even our view of a particular matter. So we have to allow each other to have whatever view they have in that based on their walk in life, their own experiences, and their own view based on those experiences. And so that's where it got a little heated because they weren't able to give that same type of consideration. And my thing was, we both have to give that consideration or we can't have a really decent conversation. And so that's how I kind of break it down whenever I deal with anything. I kind of just take it for what it is and I don't look into it. I try not to make anything more of it than what it is. And if I believe that I should be a particular way in a certain matter, but I'm not that way, I have to give myself freedom to, one, forgive myself for that, and also realize that I'm human, and situations and circumstances and words and experiences and things can cause changes in me that I may not expect to be there. And so I have to allow that to happen and not beat myself up when it happens, but learn from it and realize, okay, is that something I want to do more of? Or do I need to, I won't say heal myself, but do I need to consciously make the choice to not allow myself to go there again, or to feel that feeling again that I felt when this was said or that was done? Does that make sense?
That makes a whole lot of sense. It's so a couple of things I heard you say. The one thing I want to point out is, for me, listening outside in, right?
Yes.
You've reached a point where you realize that I don't speak for nobody else. I only speak for myself.
Yes.
A lot of us still use what we were taught in school, what we were taught in college, and what we were taught at work. We speak for somebody else.
Yeah.
And meeting them where they are, you're practicing very similar to what I practice. I respect the fact that they're still there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, if it takes self-work to be where we are. And when we just listen to the people around us, if they're putting in the self-work, their words reflect it. Beautiful way of saying
that.
If they're not putting in the work, it reflects it. If a person says 20 words to you and 2 is about them and 18 is about somebody else, they give you an idea where they are in that moment.
Yeah.
Flip it. If they say 18 about themselves and own 18, that gives you an idea where they are in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, is it a challenge as an individual when we know we're doing the best that we can do? And we're having this conversation with someone we have a relationship with and they're not doing what we know they can do? It has its challenges. That's about the easiest way to say it. It has its challenges with that. My bestie, which is not my best friend, but my bestie, which is my replacement for my sister, she tells me in the first time, Duran, what you doing today? Nothing. You do know everybody don't act like you, right? She immediately reminds me of that every day. Because she's like, look, quit thinking people are going to do what Duran do. Nobody sits around and take care of themselves like your crazy butt do majority of the time. She says, so meet people where they are because somebody met you. So you can start growing. Knucklehead. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm so much better. She's put in 5 years in on me. Right? AJ Angel. I hope that's right. Because I'm trying to say Django. Because Django, the movie's popping up in my head. I know that ain't what it say. But my eyes will see what it want to and my mouth says what. So I'm saying AJ Angel, yes. The topic is self-respect. And the first topic was, what is self-respect to you for a couple? This next topic is it healthy and or unhealthy to sacrifice your self-respect? I would say for me, it was healthy for me to sacrifice mine so that I know what it was like so I don't do it again. Oh, yes, come on up here. It was unhealthy. Now, I'm giving you a couple scenarios. It's not all the time. It was unhealthy for me to do it when I had no idea what I was doing, when I didn't respect myself. Because I was making situations worse. If that makes sense to you. I'm trying to respect myself when I'm trying to respect myself to somebody else, but I'm disrespecting myself to myself. In all actuality, I'm disrespecting myself to somebody else. And it's kind of like a little bit of what you said. I'm going to say concoction. It's very similar to what you said. Is I made a butt of myself trying to do something that I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
Now
And you
that
have
I'm
to
able,
forgive yourself for that.
oh yeah,
Because it's going to
once,
happen. We're human.
yeah,
It has to
exactly.
happen.
It's I laugh. I used to get in trouble. I don't get that much trouble at work, but like I laugh at $1 million debacles, like $1 million debacles. Why you laughing? I can get upset, but that debacle still gonna be there. So I laugh at it so that I have the most open mind, so that we can resolve this as quick as possible. But if I get upset, stressed, intense, I'm no good. I'm so honest with you. And so you're totally correct. I forgive myself, and then I forgive myself daily. I mean, momently and stuff. So you're totally correct. Tavanta, what's going on? What you got on this one?
Well, what you were just saying is giving yourself grace, right? You have to forgive yourself. You have to give yourself grace for human error or whatever. But going back to No Wasted Time, I believe is her name, she hit everything on the head. In order for you to be able to continue to dole out, you have to make sure that your reservoir is full. And if your reservoir is not full and you're constantly self-sacrificing, I'm sacrificing, whether it's in the mode of being passive aggressive, whether it's in the mode of just humbling under everything, whether it's in the mode of just saying, I'm not going to say anything so I don't waver waters, I don't anger anyone, I want this all to be okay. What you do is, number one, again, you alleviate, not that you alleviate, you actually disintegrate your inner person. And if you are constantly disintegrating and shrinking within yourself, what do you become, and how are you going to be an accessible source to help build anything up? You don't have a voice. You don't have anything that you can give because you've now shrunk to nothing. So I kind of understood the part where you said the unhealthy portion is so that you can learn from it. But do I need to place myself in an unhealthy situation just to learn? Do I have to disintegrate myself just to learn? No, you don't, because you're going to learn in your footprint anyway. Your journey is going to activate learning roadblocks, boulders, things that you have to climb over anyway. But if you have self-respect, you have the strength, because I do relate self-respect as an inner strength as well, right? So you need that strength, you need that energy to climb, to go over, to go around, to duck, to dodge. And in doing that, you're not going to allow that inner spirit to dry up. So that's kind of where I am. I think that it is, in order for you to be a helpmate, and I'm not married, so I can't do that, but even a helpmate in my day to day, going into my workplace, dealing with things within my family, dealing with things within my friends, in order for me to be helpful, I have to be knowledgeable. I have to be strong. I have to be able to stand up against the wind, because I might need to have somebody lean against me while I lean against someone. And if I'm not grounded, if I don't have that ability to be able to sway in the wind, what good am I? So that lack of self-respect is going to cause me to willow up and dry away.
May I respond?
Oh, please.
So my statement was not saying that you place yourself in unhealthy situations and that you limit or that you lower yourself for that situation. My statement is that you are going to be in those unhealthy situations whether you want to be or not. I work in accounting. I'm an accountant. I'm constantly in unhealthy situations. What I choose to do in those situations is exactly what I described, so that we don't have a lot of unhealthy banter back and forth or unhealthy conversations, because at the end of the day, things have to be resolved. And even if I'm in personal situations with personal, with people, personally, I can't control what they say or what they do. And so if they put me in an unhealthy situation without me, putting myself in that situation, I have to choose how I respond to that. Just like with the situation that happened yesterday. I mean, it was the individual's choice to say what they said. I can't control what they say, but I can control how I receive it and how I respond to it. And in those situations, that's where I make the conscious choice to, forgive myself if I'm in that situation and my response isn't perfectly where I would like it to be.
And I think that we are actually in agreement, maybe saying it a little bit differently, because the only thing that
Yeah,
would
we
be
are.
grounded in my self-respect so that I can withstand any tumultuous situation that may be taking place, so I can withstand anything that may come that I'm not prepared for or don't have expectation of, so I can withstand and be able to head on deal with whatever it might be, because we do walk that walk, and in that
Yeah,
journey we don't know what is going to come in our direction. We have no clue, whether it be from a family member, whether it be from a friend, whether it be from our job source, whether it be from a stranger. We don't know, but if we're not grounded within our own self-respect, as you stated, we will not have that choice to react, because we don't have the strength to. We don't have the
yeah,
ability to. We're not, our roots are not grounded so that, anything coming away can pull us right out, and now we've kind of disintegrated into the wind. You have to have that self-respect in order to be able to withstand those daily traumas, those daily issues, those daily life choices that come into your world. And you have to be as no wasted time. You have to be able to have your reservoir full, your inner self full,
yeah,
so that you can make the decision and choose not to, or choose that you'll need to handle something at that time. Choose to walk away from something, or choose to walk directly into it. So we're in agreement. We're not
yeah.
disagreeing at all.
Yeah, yeah, you all on the same
My
page.
apologies. I thought I heard you say that we put ourselves in those situations, and that was the only part I wanted to clear up, because I'm with you. I'm in agreement
No,
with you,
not at all.
everyone, with no wasted time, and it was just that one. I thought I heard that, so I apologize for that.
Oh no, you
No,
good. Oh no,
no.
no
Because we run
apologies
up
for
against a
being a human
wall no
being.
matter. Hmm?
I was saying no apologies for being a human being.
Right.
That's
No.
the beautiful
No.
thing about us.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
They were
Yeah,
choosing the
no, just so you
opposite.
understand, no, we don't place ourselves in that position.
Yeah,
Those positions are surrounded. That's a part of our building up of character as well, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
really, how can you know if you're a soldier if you've never been in a battle?
exactly.
How do you know if you
So
can
true.
handle the situation if you've never walked that path?
Mm-hmm.
How do I know if I can climb that hill? I can sit up there and brag all day. Yeah, I'm a mountain climber, and even haven't even walked up a hill on a street. But until I do it, then I can come back with valor to say, this is what I overcame. This is what I did. This is my path. This is my journey. This is what I walked through. This is when I can hold my arms up to you and say, anoint me no matter what you're going through. Guess what? You can overcome it because I've been there.
So let me tell you a funny
That's
story.
that mindset.
I went on vacation. Vacation. I went on vacation to Cabo San Lucas, right? And they take you out on this boat to go snorkeling, but they let you out so far. And I went back and forth with the lady that I was with about wearing a life jacket. Fine, just so she could be quiet, I put the life jacket on. I wanted to go to the beach, so I swam past the snorkel place to go to the beach. I'm a good swimmer in the pool. The pool at max is 100 yards. That ocean was longer than 100 yards. And I was in my mid-20s, almost in my 30s. And by the time I made it to the sand, I was tired. I ain't never swam that far in my life. And so on the way back, I remember the guy in the boat said, "Look, stop at the water taxi station, and we'll come get you." I'm big bad. I'm swimming back to the boat. I got to swimming and realized, where is that water taxi platform? I gotta make it to the water taxi. And when I made it to that taxi, I said, I'm gonna respect the ocean here forward. We ain't swimming no more, not ever again. And so when you were saying that, I was like, oh, I remember that story. I'm like, yeah, I got much respect for other stuff. And it's great to talk about it, but boy, when you get in it, it's a whole nother living story. So yeah, that reminded me of that experience. DJ Mooches, let me tell you, I have some of the most beautiful, unique names. Excuse me. On TikTok, if anybody ever say they are not creative, I'm gonna let you know you are.
It's a DJ is short for my birth name, which is Dwana, but it's spelt with a DJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. Right. And then my deceased husband used to call me Smooches. So I just put the two together. Hi,
that's
everyone.
Too cute.
Well, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. What are you guys talking about?
You're well. We are talking about self-respect. Get ready to go, Bama. I mean, to talk to me, Bama, real quick. So I'm doing I apologize. Chris and we are doing a 11-month series on self. We do a different theme every month, and then I have questions every week. Some for men on Monday, some for women on Wednesday, and then men and women and couples get up in the box on Thursday. So we both come together and communicate together. We learn from each other on the first 2 days, and then we come together and talk about that in a different way. Same topic, but in a different way associated with couples. So the first question was, and all of my stuff is loaded. I'm super smart because I got ADHD, ADD, and I stutter, and I'm dyslexic. I'll put some stuff behind. So I got all the smart stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I get depressed if I ain't learning. So
that's neat. You said women get on the box on what night, men get on the box on what night, and then you said Thursday night is couples night.
Yeah, Thursday night is couples night. Because men, we get in here and we have a conversation about 2.5 hours. Nobody argue, nobody disrespect nobody, and
that's
we
good.
all learn. And that's what we do. This is my new page because I'm starting my podcast on Sunday. It finally goes live. My other page is where everything started at. And that's where most people hang out at. I'm building this one and pulling everything over to this page so that we can grow this movement that, long story short, we always talk about doing the village, right? Somebody got to start it.
Right.
So I look at it. I have almost over 30 years in technology. Well, why not use technology to build a village? Why limit my village to my old zip code and my old block? Why not use every zip code in the U.S.?
Exactly.
The app allows us to. And we're connecting to so many people who are engaging into themselves, stop sacrificing who they are so much to other people. And now they're making a sacrifice for themselves and they're so much happier. Well, we don't have to be alone no more. In actuality, we have the largest numbers. We're just in the process of coming together now.
Okay. I think that's cool.
Okay. And so this one here is about, is it healthy and or unhealthy to sacrifice your self-respect? Last thing, everything you say is correct. I don't argue. I don't go back and forth with you for the simple fact that you know how many years it has taken you to put your thoughts together. I don't.
Okay, so I'm not going to say everything that I say is correct. I'm going to say that we'll learn from each other today.
Yes, we do knowledge transfer.
Okay.
Do knowledge transfer.
Okay, so you said, so say the question once again.
Self-respect. Is it healthy and or unhealthy to sacrifice your self-respect?
I don't think that it's ever really healthy to sacrifice your self-respect. I think that sometimes you have to compromise. And sometimes that compromise may feel uncomfortable. And I think that if it's a small compromise that promotes peace between you and that other person, I think that it's okay. But I think if that compromise is so big that it jeopardizes your happiness, then I think there's a problem.
Okay. Okay, so when you compromise and yours become and they become a problem, what's an example of that? And then how do you turn that around?
Wow. I'm trying to
Because
think
we
of a
talk about self
compromise.
a lot.
Right. So a compromise of mine that would be a problem. I can't think of anything that's so big. Let me think of something small.
Okay.
A compromise for me would be to be in the presence of a person, whether it's male or female, and they're disrespecting their significant other in a public place. Now, with me, now I can't control other people that are doing it, but if they're with me, and I not even say anything at that moment, for me, that's a compromise, because a part of me wants to say, look, this isn't cool. This just isn't cool. I'm not comfortable. I don't want to sit through this. I don't want to be a part of this. But a compromise for me would be not to say a thing at all and hope that that situation dies itself down.
Okay. I like that.
What else?
That's it. So it's Bama turn, and then I got one more question to come up with. I typically do 3 questions. I go for 2 hours. I'm a full-time dad. Little Duran, he's in the room next door. I typically try to end about 10, no later than 10:15. Because let me tell you, that little joker there, he will let us know that, oh, Daddy, you're doing a great job. You should go 30 minutes. So he can stay up extra 30 minutes, and then he in the car, half asleep on his phone on the way to school in the morning.
Right,
so
right.
He is a spitting image of his daddy. And so he does that extremely well.
How old is he?
He's 12. He's 12.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost 5'7" in a size 11. So
yeah. That's a big 12. Tall.
He is with a little bass in his voice too. So yes, he is my twin. Duran, come here. Come show the new people how handsome you are. Come on in.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's very handsome.
Today, and he got it twisted 2 days ago. You gonna say hi?
Hi.
Oh, and his voice is deepening. Hello. He is very handsome.
He is. What do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go back and finish playing on your phone.
Black ball man.
That is my mini me.
That's cool.
Okay, so there go Black Sales. I love me. So Black Sales got to get this other account that he's on up to 1,000. That is my rebel with a cause. Bama, what do you got to say about healthy and unhealthy? And while you're doing that, I'm gonna bring up the last question for tonight.
All right. I'm gonna have to say, compromising your self-respect. I know the other young lady said it first. If it's something little, you got to compromise. I ain't gonna say if it's something little. Compromise is a given in a relationship. We know this. All right. But when I think of something going against my self-respect, that's going against my morals, that's going against my values, what I stand for, what I've been taught, what's ingrained in me. Like you said, you couldn't be in front of two couples fighting. If I saw a guy disrespect another woman in front of me, by God, he gonna hear about it, because I was raised, you better stand up for the ones who can't. I'll snatch a knot in someone's rear end real quick. But with that being said, if your spouse, number one, if the foundation and the relationship and the dynamics is built right, your spouse should never, if they care about you, I mean, if you care about someone, you don't want to hurt. All right, you don't put them in a situation where they will be uncomfortable, or, like you said, emotionally hurt them, mentally hurt them. You wouldn't want to do it. I'm trying to back up and talk at the same time. I'm doing pretty good, by God. Hot damn. I'm a badass driver. I've been doing this way too damn long. I need to retire. Sorry, y'all. But what I'm saying is, that's something you don't put up with. You shouldn't have, your significant other shouldn't ask you to do that if they truly care about you. I'm not going to go ask my wife, because we need money, to go work at a strip club, because I know that type of woman she is. I mean, you got to get money how you get money. I understand that. But I wouldn't ask her to do that. Just like I'm not going to go work at a truck stop if we're struggling that bad. This goes against my morals.
Yep.
I'm not gonna take my shirt off in my house if my wife's girlfriend's there. That shows respect. That might hurt my wife. Just like ain't no man gonna come over my house without a shirt on. Just like a man better not use really bad foul language in front of my wife, because that's something I ain't gonna deal with. So, but yeah, that's my answer. Amen. Hallelujah. Did y'all catch all that? Is that all right?
No, that's good. That is Bama. That is Bama.
Yeah.
Tavonta, hold on, real quick. Y'all, I do not like this new app. It is something else to learn. Cousin Myra, I've been trying 2 minutes to reply, and it keep pulling up the wrong screen. I had to pull out my Apple Pencil to finally get this thing to work. Because it kept pulling up the under screen. Tavonta, go ahead, because you saw the new question and your face said it all.
Yeah, it did.
Tavonta, are you going on to the
I'm gonna
next
have to.
question?
I'm gonna drop down after this, and that's why I raised
Okay.
my hand. But it says, if you're possible for your self-respect to make your partner feel disrespected, absolutely. If my self-respect is grounded in if my self-respect is grounded in I did this for this, and every time I do it, no one seems to. If it's grounded in you can just dampen a person's soul. You can step on someone like a roach. When you have that and you've turned that self-respect into your battle cry for attention, your battle cry for I'm right, your battle cry for this is the way it's going to be, and I stand behind it, and I can no longer listen, I can't hear, I can't even interact. You can step on someone's soul. So when that self-respect really is no longer self-respect, it's just me, my, and myself, me, I, and myself. It is just something that you can destroy, just like you can over fertilize, right? You can kill somebody with the sulfates and the things like that in fertilization, and you put too much in there and you put too much on yourself, and it is that about me, and that's all I see is me and and I'm going to protect myself no matter what. I'm not going to let you come and try to cause harm to me. I'm not going to let you walk over me. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. But I'm going to bid you guys a good night and go put some food in my mouth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming through. You always bring the blessings with your words. I appreciate you so much. Okay, have a good one, all right?
I wanted to cycle back to something Tavonta said and something Anointed said. There were a couple of bits. One that caught my mind was she was talking about the giving from a cup full, and something a couple of weeks ago really convicted me about that. I used to use that analogy, and I've decided to not use that one anymore, but that's a whole different story. What the other thing that she said was about not having to go out and find create situations to be able to have learning experiences, that they're right there in the footprints of our life. And I think that's a really important point that we kind of miss when we kind of brush over sometimes and don't realize how significant that is, that life gives us the curriculum for our healing. And the situation that Anointed talked about, like, spelled out kind of that point of zero impact, of finding those things in our life that are the things that need to be healed, that we find ourselves in situations and then we say, okay, self, do better. And we use those behavior modification techniques. Get yourself out of this conversation. This is not feeling good. And we forgive our bad behavior. We have grace for the behavior that's out of character with who we say we are. But that, I think, those become those opportunities that once we get ourselves to safety, if we spend some time, the fact that we were triggered reveals to us that that's a part of our own existence that may, not always, but may need healing, that something caused us to be triggered. Because I think the other part that brought to mind of what she was saying is that even if someone else is not healing, if I'm doing the healing, my capacity to deal with and have grace for the unhealed parts of other people's existence grows. And so if you're not healing and I have healed those areas so that now I'm not triggered, and that I understand that the way you're reacting to me may be a product of your own fears and insecurities and guilt, then I now have the ability in that interaction to not cause harm. And if I begin to do the work and grow and learn, I can even, add some healing water to that situation when I see those insecurities come up. But oftentimes what happens, more times than not, when we're not on that healing journey, or we run into areas of our life that aren't healed, when you act from that place, it triggers me, and before I even know it, I'm acting from my damaged place too, and we begin to then damage each other, and both of us leave that situation worse. And so I think, yes, we do want to give ourselves grace, but I think after we do that and get ourselves to safety, that's the curriculum. If you want to know, where do I start with the stuff that comes up. Start with the areas of your life where you're being triggered, because those triggerings, those emotions are really the flags in life. Those are the red flags that say, hey, look here, something just triggered you, and something right here is out of alignment with your true self. Here's where you can do some healing work. And so I don't want us to miss that yes, we have grace for ourselves, but the next step of that journey is, now let me go look and see what that damage is on that particular spot that got hit. And let me be committed to doing the work of then healing that spot. Because if we heal it, then when we're in those situations again, it won't trigger us the same way. It won't trigger us where we've got to use those behavior modification tools. It won't trigger us. And so we won't have those negative reactions. And that's what builds the grace in for us to be able to interact in those ways that are loving, even with the the people that seem to be unlovable by their behavior, not because of their worthiness, in the life that we come in contact with. And then the specific answer, I have a short answer to that question. If someone if someone's lack of self-respect, can that cause me to feel disrespected? And part of my answer is yes, because my expectation for others is to bring their honest self, knowing that we sometimes don't. But if you have disrespected yourself, you've not brought your honesty to me. And so part of what makes me feel disrespected is when someone does not deal honestly with me. And if they presented themselves in a way that's not honest, that makes me oftentimes feel disrespected.
Okay. I like that. I have a twist to disrespected at the end. Jordan's mom, how you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm fine. How you doing, friend?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy to have you over here this evening with this amazing panel that I have. And I love this last question. So we had 3 questions on self-respect for couples tonight. Now, couples is a loaded word. Partners is a loaded word because there is an initial thought that the word partner. Partner is one person, 2 people having a conversation. Okay? It does not have to be only the person you're involved with. Because we talk to so many people, even when we're on a panel having a conversation, or even when we're in the chat with somebody, we're partnering in a knowledge transfer session. Okay, so on this one here, is it possible for your self-respect to make your partner feel disrespected?
The answer to that is absolutely yes. And
Okay.
the simplest example that I can cite is I come up from a family where respect for women is huge. And one of the things my father would always do, you know what I'm saying, is make sure that my brother spoke to me in a certain way. And if you raise your voice, if your tone was wrong, if you were a little bit harsh, he would say to you, don't talk to my daughter that way. I have carried that with me throughout my life. It has morphed into things like when someone calls me on the phone, I would like for you to say, good afternoon, how are you? I like for you to say hello. But the tendency is for people to say something as simple as, what's up? I'm like you, Duran. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to certain things. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to say when you say, what's up? Am I supposed to say, that my stocks are up? Am I supposed to say the temperature is up today? I'm not really sure how that works. I'm a bit of a nerd that way. But I also think that it reminds me of like some guy standing on a block, you know what I'm saying, bumping fists with his homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a homeboy. So I feel like my self-respect says to me, I want to be treated as a woman in all places at all times. So say hello to me, say good afternoon, a simple greeting to me. Don't come to me with the what's up or what's popping or whatever the things are that they say. But because I insist on that to make myself feel comfortable in my space and respected, people who that is a part of their life and their lifestyle and their language and their upbringing can often find it disrespectful to be asked to say good afternoon, good morning, how are you? It's a battle that I wage nearly every time I meet a new person. We have to have this discussion because I feel it's base level respect to say to someone good morning, but to another party, base level respects it is what's up. It can very easily translate into disrespect in their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Real quick. I mean,
Real.
it's while you were saying that, it made me think about, have we blurred the line so much between genders that men talk to women like they homeboys and wonder why they get the results, and then vice versa, women talk to men like they homegirls and wonder why we get those results?
Duran,
Because
that is
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I was going to say that is exactly it. That is
Mm-hmm.
exactly the case. And the reason that this is so prevalent for me is because there are so many women who their culture and their upbringing and their level of comfort is the same as the gentleman. So they don't see anything wrong with it. That's how they operate. It's the same as some people's greeting is different to one another based
Mm-hmm.
on what's acceptable to them. But for another person, my baseline for respect can mean that you don't say that to me. And for them to have to change how they interact, they can find it disrespectful that I'm requesting out of them. All at the same time, I'm finding it disrespectful that you even bring that to me. So that's why I always say that two things can be true at the same time. We can both feel some measure of disrespect and we can both be correct, in our feeling.
So true when it comes to, so it's regional also. Moving to Florida. Okay, in Dallas,
Indeed,
I don't
indeed.
deal with snowbirds a lot. I don't deal with people up north a lot in Dallas, right? And so coming here, bringing my southern, yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, young lady from up north. I met her mom. I said, yes, ma'am. Don't you dare talk to me like that. I am not a ma'am. My name is boom, 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 boom. And the lady was like, well, mom, he's from the South. I don't care where he's from. You don't talk to me like that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I mean, my bad, not ma'am. And it was so uncomfortable saying somebody's mama first name. That was like
Indeed.
the weirdest thing, because you got backhanded for that now, in Dallas. So there's that regional thing that plays in it also. And it's like, where do we find that happy median to where, and there's a reason why I capitalize the word feel. Okay. And so, all right, I love that so much, Jordan, Mom. Excuse me. I need the chat to move so I can get my long name together. There we go. Anointed made by herbal concoctions. I love it. I love it. Oh, you made my evening.
Oh, I'm sorry.
DJ, drop. Come right back. Okay. DJ,
can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I think a lot of these folks out here that done lost some morals and values, or they didn't get them, they need to get back in their mama and do a little more incubating or something, because, like, they didn't get done all the way. Like, the elevator don't go all the way up to the top. The hamster's dead.
Bama, we are really nice in this space, and we do not say that in this space, Bama.
Well, I was talking about God. Look, sorry.
It was so funny.
I'll get back in the corner.
It was so funny. You get back to backing up that truck and get it unloaded, sir. Okay, anointedly made herbal concoctions. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, the question is, oh my gosh, Black Sales gonna come up here. It's gonna be interesting. I haven't talked to him in a while. I miss my brother. The question is it possible for you, for your self-respect, to make your partner feel disrespected? Black Sales, I met somebody. But we'll talk about that later. Go ahead, anointedly made herbal concoctions.
Absolutely. If we're connected, we should feel each other. And so really, whether it's my self-respect or it's whether, I'm having some sort of emotion, whether I'm happy or I'm angry, it will affect them because we're partners, right? Whether we're married or we're partners or we're friends or whatever that relationship looks like or that partnership looks like, our movements, if we're close, are going to affect each other. So I believe it does.
Okay, I like that. I love some words that you use. Emotional, feel. I love those, and I'm gonna come back to those too. Okay. Black Sales, what you got, man? How you been, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. What's going on, boss man?
Yeah, I've been missing because of work, going back to work, which I'm not happy about, but it is what it is.
Already.
Yeah. But I've been good.
Okay. That's good.
You met somebody. Okay. Did she call you in the morning and tell you good morning? Because I don't want her to get excommunicated because she didn't call you in the morning and tell you help.
Actually, she got me calling her every morning by 5:30.
You asked for it.
Every morning by 5:30, I'm calling her, and either she's working out already because she was up by 5, or she's doing something in the house before she get ready to go do her run in the morning.
Just remember, don't do nothing you can't keep up.
Oh, that's easy to do because I'm going to the gym at the same time. And so, man, it's Black Sales. I got to catch you up on this one right here, bro. I'm gonna catch you up. She comes in and out my lives now a lot, and her matter of fact, she done brought in some of her friends too.
Cool.
So yeah. Now go ahead and answer the question, sir. Oh, how your lady friend doing?
Oh, she'll be here next week for my birthday. So
okay, happy early birthday then.
Yeah, yeah. So the answer to your question, ask the question again, because I heard different things from different people, and I'm
Okay.
gonna reflect on some things some people said
Right.
myself. But
Like I say, I play on words, y'all. I play on words. And is it possible for your self-respect to make your partner feel disrespected?
for others maybe, but for me, no, because my partners, whoever they may be, it be my um my current relationship partner, and friends and family, and even a stranger on the street. You know, I pull from every facet of my life over these 49, almost 50 years. Worked in customer service, been in the military, been around the world, and what's respectful in one place may be disrespectful in another place. So what I subscribe to is learning the environment that I'm in and being what I used to call a chameleon, able to go in and out of different environments because I understand what that environment requires of me. So
Okay.
in turn, I feel that it could if you don't know your partners, but if you know your partners in the places that you go into, the people that you interact with, you I don't think it's losing myself giving them what they desire. For instance, um, my significant other, she does not like saying bye or goodbye. She rather say later, see you later, love you later, whatever the case may be. And as a respect for her and what she desires, that's what I've changed about myself. Is now I say I'll talk to you later. I don't say bye to her, but I may say bye to somebody else. It's all about what that person desires, and knowing that person's desire, and knowing that person what they desire in the moment. I not change not I wouldn't say it's changing myself. It's just me respecting that person at all time.
There you go. I like that.
You know, and no matter who if you're a stranger on the street, then I'm going to say the greeting that's most appropriate for me in the moment. What's up, or whatever the case may be. But if I know you, and I don't have to intimately know you, but I just have to, if I know enough about you to know exactly what it is that you desire, it's just like a leader. A leader needs to know each one of their one of their employees. You know, this person is this person is that, and not and if I want a meaningful interaction with them, I'm going to get on quote unquote their level.
Mm-hmm. So
Because
important.
that shows that I care about them as much as I care about myself.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
totally agree.
so that's how I move in and out. Like I said, you know me, I subscribe to the rebel category, but
Okay.
but being a rebel also means that I have to um, rebel against myself and trying to make people fit what I feel they should fit versus me fitting and making them comfortable. It doesn't make me uncomfortable to do that, because it's not that I need to be friends with everyone. It's just that everyone, my mom says, a respect is due to a dog. She always says that. and
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that a lot of people say in the South. And what that means is everything is deserves respect. Your car deserves respect. Your house
Yep.
deserves respect. Your child deserves respect. Your parent deserves respect. Now, at the same time, if you come at me disrespectful, I will respectfully, quote unquote, put you in your place. You know,
Right.
because I deserve respect. So as long as you don't cross that line, I don't cross that line. Or if you do cross that line, I push you back across that line that you just crossed over. But I always make sure that whomever I'm engaging with at the moment, at the time, if I know them intimately, if I know them, if I've been around them more than once and I've gauged and understand how they are, what they're subscribed to, I try to make sure that I make them feel comfortable, and in turn, it allows me to be comfortable. So I guess what it all boils down to is comfort. That's what I would subscribe, and that's what I would suggest to anyone, is to always be comfortable in providing comfort.
Yes. I think, is it this one? Okay. I got to do my time sheet while I'm on this call. I keep forgetting I got to do this stuff every night. There it is. Yep. Okay. So, no wasted time said she put her glasses on and she want to redo hers again.
Wait. You answer what you think you hear, and then I put my glasses on and said, that ain't the question. I got really emotional about that. Because I felt very strongly about this, because a situation from my life came up where I was doing the thing that was honoring self-respect, and someone felt disrespected. I was in a family situation, and I got a history with some of the people in my family, and it's where I'm the one on this healing journey, and they laugh about it, and ridicule me for being on this healing journey. And one of the elders in my family came at me in a way that would not allow me to be in his presence and still respect myself. And I said, in the most loving way that I could, my values say that I don't want to make you do anything, because I don't control other people. My values also say that I am responsible for taking care of myself. And I said, if my truth and the needs and the boundaries that I need to set for how I must be treated, if I'm going to give people access to me, if you don't want to act in this way in my presence, and it's a certain level of respect that I'm expecting, I'm not gonna make you change. I'm not gonna demand that you change. But what I will do is put a boundary so that you do not have access to me. And so if you want to have access with me, whether you feel disrespected or not, whether you want to respect me or not, my expectation is that you treat me with respect. I set those boundaries. I meant them. As a heel, I will stand on firmly that if you want to come in my space, this is how I have to be treated. And if you don't want to treat me that way, that's fine. But I will make sure that there's a gate there. And if you feel disrespected by me setting those boundaries that I need for my personal health, then my value system also says that I'm not responsible for doing your emotional work. If you feel disrespected by the boundaries I need to set for me to be the most loving person to myself, that's your responsibility to deal with. If I've treated you with love and respect, because that's the qualifier that I make for myself. That's the standard for myself. Did you treat them with love? Did you treat them with respect? If so, if they feel disrespected, that's their work to do. And I leave that to other people, because I got enough stuff to work on in my own life. I can't deal with other people's emotional work. And so I leave that firmly in the most loving way I can with other people, because people feel a whole lot of ways about things that I do. And that's none of my business. It's not my responsibility to deal with that. If I've treated them with love and respect and I have no regrets about my interactions, it's on them to deal with. I don't take that responsibility at all. Too heavy of a load.
I totally agree with that. Chris, what you got? Chris, you the last one. It's 10:03, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
Well, let's see. For me, I'm more of a levels type of person. Every aspect of me got different levels to it. So just like Black Cells was said, when you greet certain people, they get a certain level of respect. That's kind of like basic, and then it's like everybody gets that, right? And then the more I know you, the more intimate with you, that's a higher level of respect. Because now I'm respecting you like I respect myself. And that's super highly, because now I'm treating you like they'll treat me, right? So with that type of respect, there comes like, I'll have to say a lot of bending, compromise, because a lot of things that I feel disrespectful, would kind of be like something that's deep. Like it has a reason why it would be disrespectful. So if something that you found disrespectful, I would respect your reason why it would be disrespectful to you. So our levels of respect were pretty much come to we come to an agreement that look, this was disrespectful for you, and was disrespectful for me. So as long as we avoid that and we got the automatic respect returned, we good.
Okay. So I love everyone answer. There's one word that everybody kept using that lines up with the word that's capitalized. Emotions. Right? And so is it possible for your self-respect to make your partner feel disrespect?
Yes, big time.
I can't
Yes,
control
big
how
time.
nobody else feel and what they
I
feel.
feel exactly, but big time, yeah.
Yep.
But
Because they're never gonna have the same. Yeah, never. No two people are gonna have the same feelings the exact way about everything. So yeah, it
And
definitely will.
right. And to add to that, I can trigger something that they thought that they've been over by
Hmm.
respecting myself in a way that somebody in the past have disrespected them. It makes them feel a certain way, but their
Exactly.
belief system knows that I'm not being disrespectful. And see, the belief and the feel are two different things.
Two different things.
You
but
know
the
what I'm saying?
the biggest thing is you spoke on emotions, and even in that moment, what I believe is even if I make a person feel a certain way, being a communicator, um, it does open up the channel to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then in turn you allow that person to communicate what I triggered or what I caused. But for me, I've learned how to master my emotions, so in turn I know how to control my feelings. And that's really what we all, I would say we all must learn how to do, because the young lady said a few minutes ago about creating boundaries. Now, I'm ex-military. Boundaries have to be maintained. Boundaries have to be watched. Have to be. It's like building a wall. It's like building an encampment. I have to have somebody always on guard to make sure that that wall is firm. But if I have control over my emotions, and I know that situations are not situations that I need to be in, or people I know I need to be around. I don't place myself into, and I would say this: don't place yourself into an environment where you're going to have to explain or this, that, and the third, because it's exhausting,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll end up getting tired over time. And then what happens is you start a lot of us start um, um, getting into a situation where we're no longer happy, because at the same time we're trying to hold up um, guard on a boundary that really and truly, if I have to set a boundary, I don't want to be around you. Honestly. And I'm not going to be around you, mama, daddy, I don't care who it is. I want to be at peace, and being at peace is I don't have to explain myself or put up any wall, or you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing, is that's exhausting
It
to,
is. Um,
because your boundaries, your walls are always going to be tested by the enemy. And
yes.
if there is no
Um,
wall, there's nothing the enemy has to test.
yep. Hold on. Doctor's appointment. Doctor's appointment. Okay, cool. Um, in what you're saying, TikTok, like the people who I interact with, has actually assisted me in getting out of my happy bubble. I don't need my bubble, nor do I want my bubble to protect me anymore. Now I'm in a happy field, right? That I can do and be whatever I want to be now
Whatever you want. Yeah.
because I'm surrounded by unicorns and rainbows now. In my bubble, I didn't know them. I know a whole bunch of them on TikTok now. And
Yeah.
that's in my personal life now. And
And
so,
it's being vulnerable.
yeah,
That's
it's
the
being
thing
vulnerable.
is if you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you also have to subscribe to in my vulnerability, I'm going to be hurt, but I can handle the hurt because it allows me to grow. It's like a muscle. My emotions and my feelings are muscles that have to be exercised in order to be stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree. Now it's 10:10, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Amazing topics. Amazing. We have another. This is our third month on self. I love the way it's kicked off. Everybody is starting to come back on this page. I'm still advertise on the other page. Hey, come join us over here when I go into live. It is so funny because I look at the other phone and I have 15, 20 people in there listening. On the screen, it says join us on a whole nother page. They are not trying to do that. They're going to sit there and listen. So, hey, meeting people where they are is so much fun, and I'm loving this. I'm excited. Excuse me. I added my link tree because it wasn't conquering me. I am CC reminded me last night to add my link tree. So I have my link tree that goes to my YouTube page. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. The goal is there's a couple networks that I'm looking at. I have to have 1 million subscribers at least for the networks to look at me. I am really putting in the work to get this on a national stage to where I can reach people after prime time or before prime time. Not during prime time. I'm trying to still. I don't think I'm prepared for that one yet. But that is the goal: is to bring a happy, feel-good show to the world, so that people know that, you know what, there is a movement out here of us that are doing that. So I just want to say thank you for everyone that came up in the box, all the amazing comments that are in the chat. I'm not doing Fun Fridays because I'm dating now, and so we both work hard. Well, that's a story. She works extremely hard during the week. Herbal Made Concoctions. My lady friend is an accountant also, and let me tell you, whoa, she be looking for my encouragement on some of the stuff that she experiences when it comes
I'm
to money
telling
and
you,
work.
it's something. It really is.
And so when you said that, I was like, oh yes, I get. I think she liked me, you know, but I think she really liked what I bring to the other situations.
I dropped out of that class in college.
So, but yeah, she totally enjoys. But yeah, thank y'all so much. Let me go ahead and get off of this. Do my quick 10-minute phone call with her. I done took my sleeping pill already, so I can go to sleep. I got an early rise tomorrow. I think my equipment comes in, so I can start making these shorts and these other videos that I have to make that can give out additional information about the New Black Church, so more people can understand exactly even more what this movement is. It is a movement, right? I have another movement coming up right behind it, and I'm gonna set up a website, and what it's called is 10,000 people who love themselves going live on the same day. That's basically about what the name is going to be called. And so, yeah, I went from 100 to 10,000. Say it again.
I said that's a long ass name, man.
I know. 10,000. It's something like that. 10,000 people going live on TikTok. It's something like that. It's something like that. I'm going to put together. But
I would say try going 10,000 TikTokers.
10,000 TikTokers
live for love.
10,000 TikTokers, same topic, live, something like that. Help me out. Send me some stuff. And if anybody else got any ideas, please help me.
Oh, there we go. 10,000 TikTokers living for love.
What about live in it?
Living for love live.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually got a nice ring to it.
Play with it.
I got to get into my notes.
Yeah, definitely.
He said 10,000.
10K going live for love.
10K going live for love. Oh, 10K going live, the number 4, love.
Perfect.
.com. I'm finna go buy that. I'm finna see if that's available. No, I'm gonna do it in the morning.
I guarantee it's available.
Yeah, that's definitely available.
You already know. Go to GoDaddy. It's there. 99 cents.
Yeah, I'm not fooling with Network Solution no more. They got me. They asked for too much stuff.
99 cents. 99 cents at GoDaddy.
All I need is for a year too. That's all I needed for is 1 year to pull this project out.
And you get free email for the year.
I get free email through Microsoft.
No, I'm saying if you do it through GoDaddy, you get a free email for 12 months.
Right.
So you don't, so you I know you get it through Microsoft, but if you're doing the site and everything, I can tell you that's 99 cents on GoDaddy, and then they have that thing now where you get your domain email for a year at no cost.
Okay. But actually, I'm gonna attach some other products to it. I'm gonna attach booking and some other stuff.
Ooh, that's an actually nice one too. Love Alive 10K.
And then the other thing, Love Alive 10K. I like that. Wait a minute, we're gonna write that down too.
Yeah,
that's heavy marketing, so people understand the whole definition of that domain, what it means, what your intent is with it. So
Black Sales, I'm reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just believe last week I came up with this one. I was like, man, I'm shooting too low with 100. I'm shooting way too low.
What, 100 people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was shooting way too low because it's 100 men on Monday, it's 100 women on Wednesday, and it's 100 couples going live, meaning men and women.
But what I have experienced, now I can tell you this, what I have experienced, that it can't be a 1-2 hour thing. It's going to have to be for several hours. I would even say that I've seen 10K come into a live. I've seen 95K come into a live, but we went for 13 hours.
Wait a minute. No, I'm saying 10,000 people go live at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time.
How you going to manage that?
If I have y'all.
Right.
I have a team that we're going to build a team.
Right.
Between now and this summer, I'm going to put a conference together. That's why I want to use the Microsoft products, because I can do Teams Live and set up the meetings, and we set all this up.
Right. Okay.
So I'm trying to, I'm working at build the board, bring the board together, and we all bring our minds together because we all want this change.
Because we're working on his and hers, a play on his and hers. We talk about love language and all these different things that we're reading and learning, and we have discussions outside of it. So we're actually creating a platform for us, for his and hers. That's going to be the name of the platform.
Oh, I like that. That's good. And so, like I say, the goal is with doing this, and my buddy got to connect that TikTok because he used to be an exec over there, is if they pick it up and help me promote this, it's doable. Like who don't, because talking too fast. 11 months on sales to build. Quit laughing at me. Yeah, go ahead and laugh at me because you mad you can't talk. 11 months on sales. And now that we build ourselves up, now that conversation that we have in December is not going to be about us. It's us listening to others and encouraging them.
Yeah.
Because we've done the work on ourselves.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest thing is if you work over the months and people understand it. So when you have the main event, everybody that comes up, because you got to look at Garrett J. White, you got to look at Grant Cardone. They do these things all the time. And if you're going to do it on that level, it's all about getting everybody to buy into the ideal so that when we all come together, we have the same message, even though the messengers have different messages. You understand what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is. It's the
Right.
same message delivered 10,000
Different
different ways.
ways.
Different ways.
Right. Different
And
ways.
so
Way different ways.
if you can't be reached at 10,000, I need you to be 10,001 then.
Yeah.
I need for you to do it too. So that somebody has to fall within those 10,000. So when they're bouncing in between those, it's, you know what I'm saying? We get it. We fill up everybody's For You page. We're the top thing leading on it because that's our hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work on it. We'll start building this. Let me get this first show that I'm so terrified because I'm going live for an hour. It's my direct. It's everybody's first time that's working on this project that has never done this kind of work before. And so I'm
Talking
like,
about your for Sunday.
yeah, for Sunday at 5:00 Eastern. And
Okay.
we're going live. Hey, whatever happens, happens. We have to have that first show to always go back and look at when stuff is structured.
Know what bugs you have to fix. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just got to get out there and do it. And so I'm using the same things every week. They start on Sunday and then they transition into the week.
Right.
Okay. But yeah,
Cool.
thank y'all so much. Black Sales, reach out to me on one of your accounts and I'm gonna give you my number and let's talk about this some more. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a message.
Every
I can
single
do
one
it
of
on
the
the
accounts.
other account. I'll do it on the other account, but both of my accounts can go live no matter which one I'm on. But I'll send you a message on the other one because my messenger on this account got shut down.
Okay, we'll send on the other one. Chris, what did you say?
All right.
Nah, I was gonna say, send him on every account you got, so that way he can't miss it.
Okay. And then no wasted time. If you have some extra time that you're not wasted, I would love for you to work on a project also with us. I'm recruiting.
I'd love to hear more about it. I'm always looking for points of connections where our purposes overlap with others.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll continue to work at building and then share it. All right. Y'all have a good evening. Thank y'all for the extra 10 minutes tonight. Love y'all. I will see y'all Sunday. Go to my link tree and subscribe. So when I go live, I'm still figuring out how to do this. We were doing some dry runs on Saturday, but we go live at Sunday. Check us out. I'm gonna have the chat going and everything, and I'm gonna have a special guest here in the studio with me.
Right. You on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Yes. YouTube.
Gonna be on YouTube. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be on YouTube.
All right.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one tonight. Okay.
All right.
All right. Love y'all. Peace out.
All right. Peace.